What's going on, monetary family? It's your boy KB coming at you today with a cool little video. So you done got all that shit set up and you got the MetaTrader 4 app on your computer. Whether you had Simple FX, JFX, FX Glory, this right here I have up at Simple FX. Simple FX is pretty cool because they're playing bits. So as Bitcoin goes up, your winnings appreciate. So we're going to talk about a few things. So let's see. First off, this chart. First off, let's clear all this shit off of here. So if you ever end up with too many things on the chart, you can go to indicator list and it'll let you know everything to have on here. Bollinger Bands, email, download, alert. So we want to delete this and I'm going to delete this. And I'm going to get rid of this. This is the one-click trading box. Once I hit one-click trading, that goes away. Once I click one-click trading, it comes up. So I'm going to get rid of that real quick so I can show you guys a naked chart. A bare-ass naked chart. A bare-ass naked chart is called naked price action. It's really the purest way to trade. Before we add in the Fibonacci's, before we add in the support resistance, this is just the truest tale of what's going on. Sometimes you can zoom in and peep a few counter formations, and sometimes you can zoom in and you can see the overall trend of what's really going on. Make sure to do both. You see we have this helpful toolbar. On here you're going to see you have your time frames. If you ever find yourself without these time frames, you can go to view and toolbars and you see how it has time frames. I press it, it disappears. View, toolbars, time frames, it comes back. So we have that back. You got to zoom in. Also, sometimes when you're trying to back test, if you ever find yourself snatching a chart back, like if you're on Bitcoin or so right now, you're on a minute, and you find yourself snatching it back or so, sometimes it is going to update to the most recent price action. That's kind of hard for backtracking. So if you turn off this, scroll the chart to the end on tick incoming. This just keeps the chart live. So if you press, see right now it's pressed in, if you depress the button where it comes out, now you can scroll back and you can back test and test strategies to make sure that your winning edge was working. So that's really helpful. Also, if you're at the end of the trade, so we're going to play on this one and make sure that it's live, and you will kind of want to go a little bit past the current price action, you can press this button right here, which gives you a little bit more space. Over here also, you can sometimes drag this where it shrinks the size of your candles. That way if you're trying to draw different trend lines and stuff, you can zoom out. Also, you see all these symbols over here. This is so many symbols. You can actually scroll all of these, or you can right click and you can hit hide all, and hides everything except for the ones you have down here. So you have to close this, and let's see, hide all again. Now what I like to do is come over to symbols, and even though this is a huge list, no one wants to look at all of this at one time. So what I recommend is you go through here, you pick a couple of your forex pairs, you could peep a couple of your crypto pairs, and you place them on here. You just go over to whatever your pair is. Let's say your pair is the yen or something. You're gonna go over here. My pair is the CAD, so I have it on here. If you want to hide it, you hide it and it goes away over here. I like the CAD, so I'm gonna bring them back. Everyone likes the yen, me myself included. So you click over to the yen and you hit show. Now you see the yen popping up over here. We're gonna that's just an alert that I have that's kind of old. I need to get rid of. Matter of fact, we'll get rid of that now. What you're gonna start to realize is that MetaTrader 4, like any program, has bits and pieces and parts that goes to it. This right here is your chart screen. You can actually you can right click this chart and it gives you a bunch of options. You can sell, different trading, you can place a new order in here, indicator list to see what indicators you have up, and a whole bunch of options. Right now I'm going down to properties. See, properties allow you to custom build your chart's colors. So if you want to, you can have a black screen with white bulls and red bears. It just depends on whatever your flavor is. My boy Moochie has a mean Lakers layout on his. Me, I went to the standard, the steady 80 that Drew had me set up in the beginning. So I've been sticking to that, so I stayed with that. So that's how you change the colors on it. And you see I only have a few pairs over here now because I went to the right click symbols. So let's see, we have naked price action. You know how to set your symbols. Let's go ahead and start looking at some of the parts of the MetaTrader 4 app. First off, this down here is called the terminal. We can see our trades we have here. We can see our account history of the previous trades and stuff. Let me get that up there. We got this is the Navigator. This is the terminal where you can see your trades. You can see your trades here. You can go to account history and see the things you've done as far as trades. You can see news, account history, and you can go over here where you can set your alerts. And there's another video about setting alerts. It's really easy. You just right click and hit create. But check out the other video on alerts for more information on that. This right here is the market watch window. This is the window. This is the window you use for picking out your symbols. You can actually go to view at any time, and you see market watch. You see terminal. You're gonna need those a lot. Also, sometimes you're tracking your plays by cash, but remember we trade pips and not money. So sometimes I like to come over to the profit, right click it, go up to profit, and instead of deposit currency, I like to click on points. And so now we see how many pips I'm up. Remember, with Forex pairs, you ignore the last two, you ignore the last one digit, and with cryptos, you ignore the last two digits. So I'm up 1,262 pips on this Bitcoin play. At the beginning, I had trouble with placing items on the chart. Trend lines, Fibonacci, and stuff like that. MetaTrader 4 can be a pain sometimes because it is very exact and strict. So first thing we want to do is a couple trend lines, Fibonacci's, and just show you where all your indicators are located. It's up to you to find a mix that works for you to help you secure a winning edge. So first we're going to go with lines, and then we're going to go with indicators like Fibonacci and stuff like that. So you have horizontal lines over here, this little bar right here, which is good for setting the top of trades, the top. And you get another horizontal that's good for setting the floors. Make sure you see how to get a horizontal. I have to click this horizontal line, place the bar, and if I want another one, I have to go back and click it. So I always remember that. Now here's the thing: you're trying to drag it. I put another one there underneath that. So you find yourself trying to drag the bar and you can't drag it. You're having a lot of trouble. What MetaTrader requires you to double tap whatever you have on your chart. And you know you double tapped it because it gets this little square at the end. See, when I double click it again, that square goes away. Once you double click whatever your bar is, your line or whatever, it gives you this square, you can now drag it. Or what's really cool, you can right click it to horizontal line properties. You can make the line bigger. You can change the colors on it if you want to make sure green for buy, red for bulls. There's all type of ways to customize the chart to make it for you. So those are horizontal lines. For trend lines, which help us find zones and different entry and exit parts, we like to take our trend lines and kind of lay them, on two parts. We like to lay them on two areas and sometimes look for a third. So something like this would usually be key for us. Now, same difference. When you double click it, you get these little boxes, which means you can trend line properties, and you can edit the width or the color. And also, like if I click down here to this square right here, I can drag it to get it exactly to the point I want. If I click here, I can move the entire body versus just moving the angle like I did here. See, this moves the angle. And the same thing for up here. I can move the angle as I see fit. So those are setting like different trend lines. And remember, don't make your trend lines intersect a lot of points on your chart. Your trend lines should really kind of lay on points. Don't force the issue. Trading is about and not forcing the issue. Also, I have this old ass indicator that I never use anymore, so I need to get rid of. So one thing I'm gonna go to is Navigator. Shit, where did it go? Oh, it's way over here for some odd ass reason. And the one that's proven up a lot is really the stochastic, which I haven't used in ages. So I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna get rid of that. Come over here, delete. Horizontal lines, trend lines, they're all set up the same way. You can all find them right here on your little handy toolbar. If you ever find that they're not there, you can go to view, toolbar, and take out, I think it's line steadies. Yeah, it's line steadies. You can view and then go to the toolbars, line steadies, and then you have all those options. And last but not least, before I get out of here, insert. You can either go up here and insert, or you can right click and you can go to and last but not least, I'm going to talk about a few indicators. You can go to insert indicators and you find a whole list of indicators. Some will work for you, some will won't. It's up to you to find out which ones work for you. So a bunch of little different indicators between oscillators and moving averages and just all type of things that can help you gain that edge on your winning strategy. Now last but not least, I'm going to go ahead and throw out our Fibonacci guide. This is our Fibonacci tool right here. Remember, with Fibonacci, if there's an uptrend, when there's an uptrend, you look for when there's an uptrend, you draw from the bottom of that uptrend all the way up to the exact point. See this little line right here? Make sure this point lays on your chart. And now we have drawn the Fibonacci from an uptrend, and vice versa. If it's in a downtrend, like we have a downtrend from here to here, you have to draw your Fibonacci from the top to the bottom. I hope you were able to enjoy these useful MetaTrader 4 tips about just navigating around this difficult ass app sometimes. Feel free to ask any questions in the group or so, and if you have anything to add on there or any more questions, please join us on our live webinars Mondays, Fridays, and for the ladies night on Thursdays. This is your boy KB, wishing you boys secure the bag, stick to the plan, and call it L and secure profits.